Now in our first example, the number of elements that went into our pipeline was the same number that came out the other end. We put 3 triangles in and we got 3 circles out. But what if we want to remove some elements from our pipeline? Let's suppose that we have a variety of shapes at the input, but we only want to keep circles. And we can do that by adding a where node, which will filter out the shapes we don't want. So the output of our pipeline is now a sequence that contains only circles. And what if we only want blue circles? Well, we can do that too by adding another where node into our pipeline that only lets blue shapes through. And so we've filtered our input sequence even more. And LINQ actually has more extension methods that will perform filtering in different ways and discard elements from the input sequence. For example, let's use a skip node in our pipeline and tell it that we want to skip over the first 3 elements, like we saw in our first LINQ challenge. Now the pipeline discards the first 3 things that come in, whatever they are. And we could follow that with a take node, which will take the next 2 elements after we've skipped the first 3. So now it's items from the end of the sequence that are going to get discarded. Anything after the first 2 elements that get to the take node is going to be thrown away. And in fact, there's even more LINQ methods that can filter the input in some way. For example, there's distinct, which filters out duplicates, and of type, which filters out any objects which aren't of the specified type. By the way, one thing that's really important to point out here is that the order of the nodes or stages in our pipeline is important. Although it's sometimes possible to switch the order and get the same result, for example, our where nodes could be swapped without affecting the output. We would still get an output that only contains blue circles if we switch the 2 where nodes over. But with the skip and take nodes, if we were to swap those 2 around, then we'll get a completely different output. In fact, we'll get nothing out at all, as take 2 will only emit 2 elements, and then skip 3 skips over them both, leaving us with nothing left at all at the output of our pipeline. So do make sure you take care with the order of operations in your pipeline. Let's have a look at another pipeline building block.